This is the first time CLG's got top 2 in the regular split. It's so good for confidence, but it's also a lot of pressure for us to do well. Our story so far has been choking at playoffs, so we feel that.
아니야, 첫 번째는 안 터질 거라 생각해. 두 번째부터 이기면 걔네가 멘탈이 터질 것 같아.
It's very important that we be able to shut down Rush.
Rush is definitely on fire lately, and the meta is definitely favoring him.
코벨터가 일단 플레이오프 경험이 없는 게 크게 작용할 수도 있다고 생각해요.
I just hope that we can have a really good showing and that me and the rest of CLG can make everyone really proud.
I believe in us. If we can't beat TIP, then we have no chance at Worlds, so we don't deserve it. This time, we embrace the pressure, and we try to thrive in the pressure, and we don't shy away from it.
지고 있을 때 좀 이기는 법을 모르는 것 같아. 이제 CLG 이기면 이제 한 걸음 갈 것 같아.
I don't want to have that thought in the back of my head that I could have played a little bit better. No, I want to have done it. I want to hold that trophy, look out at the rest of North America, look at the crowd and be like, yes, I'm a champion. Welcome everyone to semifinal Saturday here in the North American LCS. We're coming to you live from Los Angeles where the fans are ready to see who will continue their march to Madison Square Garden and the finals. A lot riding on these games here today. Everyone's got a lot of energy as you see the fans going crazy already. And here you have Team Impulse just a short time ago as they load in for a day on the Rift against Counter Logic Gaming. A great series ahead of us, to be sure. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson, and lending their expertise in today's matches are Aiden Zyrene Moon and Team Dignitas's support Kiwi Kid. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
How are you doing? Well?
Yeah, doing really well.
Excited?
I'm excited to see all you guys and be able to analyze for you, friends.
All right, well, since we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Kiwi Kid on the desk today, we're going to take advantage of the opportunity to knowledge steal by fielding some of your questions from Twitter. Send in your questions on playoffs, champion builds, or ask about the life of a pro support by tweeting at LOL Esports and use the hashtag AskKiwi. Now let's get down to business, though, with a quick look at the playoff bracket to see what is up for grabs this weekend. TSM took down 4th seed Gravity 3-1 and secured their semifinal berth, where they'll face off against the current frontrunners #1 Team Liquid. And battling in today's best-of-5 semifinal is Team Impulse, who had smooth sailing through their quarterfinals against Team Dignitas. Now they've got to defeat 2nd seed Counter Logic Gaming to lock up a spot in the finals. All 4 of our teams have locked in a place in the regional qualifier with a minimum of 40 points coming their way. The seeding for the qualifier is still up in the air, though, and the 2nd seed from North America is determined by the team with the most points. So even if a team falls short of the finals, they'll still be fighting to bank as many points as possible in that 3rd round matchup next week. Now to zero in on today's semifinal, Counter Logic Gaming versus Team Impulse. Few pro players have been as open about their dream to play in the World Championships as CLG's veteran carry, Doublelift. And this year, well, it's no different. While the goal hasn't changed, Doublelift's team has, and CLG are now ready to break through and compete on the international stage.
When you work really hard at something for a really long time, and you put your 110%, like you expect a payoff at some point down the road. And every time that it was time for the payoff for the last like 3 years, it just never came. And it was so disappointing. It was soul crushing. Yeah, this is the first time CLG's got top 2 in the regular split. We always have like a really great start, and then towards the end we just suck. And we always end up losing our top 2 spot, even though like during the regular split we're doing pretty well. We kind of acknowledge that it was a little bit of luck that we got to this position. Gravity dropped out really bad in the last week, but it was also the result of a lot of hard work that we put in during the split. We had like this really awful period in the middle of the split, and then ever since then it's just been a climb upwards. So I think, yeah, I really do believe in us, because this is the first roster that was able to bounce back from a lot of hate. You know, everyone was trash talking Smithy for playing really badly at certain moments, and it was just like a lot of pressure from the community that we weren't as good as we should be. And I think we handled it super well, and ever since then we've just always been focused on learning. Like, swallow your pride and like throw your ego away and just focus on learning only. That's what we've done, and I believe in us because we can just learn and adapt week by week, And as long as everyone's willing to put the work in, then we can do it. In every other iteration of CLG, we would have avoided pressure at all costs. Like, okay, don't feel the pressure, don't be nervous, don't be, anxious for this match. This time, because of our coaches, I think that we embrace the pressure and we try to thrive in the pressure and we don't shy away from it. I think now we're leaning into it and using it to benefit us. I think winning NA just means it was worth it. It was worth it to stick around and put in all this work. So I just want the karma to finally roll around for us. Like, CLG's kind of taken a beating for a really long time. It would just feel right. It would just feel like it would be the right thing for CLG after all this work we put in to finally hold up the trophy.
It would also be a lot of validation for Doublelift because his trophy case is still empty, and putting LCS in there as his first one after all this time would be great for his career.
Exactly. Now, Kiwi Kid, you've had the opportunity to play against this lineup. Do you think this year's CLG is one that can make it to the international stage?
Yeah, I definitely think they can. You've seen them, yeah, sure, they had like a little bit of slump in the middle of the season, and I was at most for about 2 weeks. And at the end of this, I think, honestly, all that really matters is at the end of the split, where you have everybody playing well, and Xmithy, even though he created a meme, he was hitting those really good ults. It was not only the disengages, but also he was finding those engages as well. And yeah, hey, what better do you want from a player that can both engage and disengage? It shows a lot of growth and prowess. So yeah, I definitely think they can do it.
And Zyrene, the team was on an upswing here coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're definitely on an upward trend. They were 6-0, barring the tiebreaker right after they had that slump. And a lot of what got them out of that slump was they started doing top lane carries, which took pressure off of Doublelift. And you're talking about Xmithy. Xmithy has the lowest kill participation on the team, and Doublelift and Aframu actually have the highest by a large margin. So this team is pretty bottom lane centric. So when you have multiple threats, one in top, one in bottom, you free up that bot lane, you relieve pressure off them. And because of that, it's the first time that they've had a first round bye here.
Right, but with that, Doublelift said a lot of pressure comes along with it, Kiwi. Do you think that they can, kind of ward that off, fend off the breaking pressure on their mentality?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their ways to get past it. I heard they have a huge support staff now. That always helps. You can talk to players. You can just kind of own up to it. There's a lot of different things you can do. And it seems like they were playing so well at the beginning or at the end of the split. So as long as nothing too bad happened in between then and now, they should be able to take this.
Just got to keep that momentum going. Now, meanwhile, Team Impulse have rolled their strong finish to the regular season straight into playoffs with a 3-0 sweep over Team Dignitas in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, last split, Team Impulse, they finished their regular season strong, but they ran into troubles in the playoffs when the strongest perceived playstyle was Cinder Hulk, and that was outside of their comfort zone. So they failed to adapt, and they fell flat in playoffs, getting 4th. This time, though, everything seems to kind of be going their way, right? There's multiple carry threat junglers that are extremely strong. Top lane priority strategies are becoming more prevalent. And Impulse, they have the best top and jungle synergy in the league, so this just falls right into their field. And that's absolutely great. But on top of all of that, Dignitas versus TIP, they only had to show one strategy, really. It was Elise Shen every game, and they just kept going bottom lane.
Yeah, they didn't really have to pull out anything else they had because, whatever keeps working, just keep doing it. And yeah, it's kind of pathetic that we weren't able to bring out any other strategies from them, but that's just how it is. And it's kind of unfortunate for not only us, but yeah, CLG, because sure, okay, so they know that TIP plays Shen strong, but now what? Yeah. And I think CLG is a team that actually is going to own up to the challenge. I don't think they're going to ban Shen right away. I feel like they're going to see how it goes and then maybe adjust to that.
Yeah, but the problem is they still have their original playstyle to fall back on, so it's very confusing when you enter pick and ban. What TIP are you going to see today? Because it was a different TIP in playoffs, very slightly, though.
It's a somewhat specific point, but we did have Crumbs on the desk, and he kept mentioning to us that he wanted to see an Olaf come out against that Shen. Didn't happen with you guys, but Zion Spartan is definitely a player who would be willing to pull that champion out. So is the threat of that alone enough to kind of deal with the Shen? You think they still ban? You think they ban it regardless?
I think you ban Olaf, right?
Oh, ban Olaf.
Yeah,
if you're going to play Shen.
I think you ban Olaf. I make sure that doesn't get through. Maybe we'll see a Shen ban too, but I definitely think you ban Olaf right now. It's one of Zion's pocket picks. He's very good at it, and everybody kind of took inspiration from him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like both of these teams are kind of, I don't want to say cocky because that sounds kind of too negative, but maybe kind of ambitious. I think they actually want to play the match, but I think they want to see who can play each other the best. Like, they don't care about counter matchups. They just want to see how things go. I think they might just ban things that they considered OP. I can see a lot of jungler bans happening, especially for Rush and maybe even Xmithy, because yeah, he saw those ults, but his Gragas has been looking really nice.
Yeah. Right now, a lot of fans, though, have been wondering how their rookie mid laner Gate would perform in the high-pressure games with his limited time with the team. And so far, I'd have to say the jury is still out.
Yeah, he wasn't an instantaneous carry for his team, but, I mean, Gate held his own against Shifter, right? But he's up against Pobel today, kind of a different beast. You know, Gate had some plays where he was cleaning up, but honestly, all Gate has to do in the way this team works is survive and end up showing up to fights, because it doesn't revolve around him. Their strategies are not Gate-centric.
Right. Now, Kiwi, again, you had the opportunity to play against them most recently. Was Gate, you know, a perceived point of weakness that you guys felt you could attack?
Initially, we did, because we felt like he wasn't the strongest laner, but he actually farms really well, and actually us focusing him was exactly what TIP wanted, because he's used to getting focused because people kind of seek him out. But he's great at playing passive, and that can be really detrimental to anybody who wastes his time on him, essentially. All
right, we'll see if CLG can learn from that. Now, before we send it over to the casters, I do want to get you guys' quick predictions. Who do you think is going to win this series today? Irene, I'm going to put you on the spot first.
I'm going to say TIP, but I don't know how many games.
All right.
Because
so
it's
a nebulous TIP.
I think it'll be back and forth, though.
Okay. Fair enough, Kiwi.
I'm going to say 3-2 TIP.
Okay.
I just feel like I love how they work around Rush, and it really is inspiring, and it's so action-packed, and I feel like you need that calculative aggression to win.
Yeah, Xmithy has to step up today big.
All right, well, 3-2, though, means we're going to have a good series. So that is enough to get me excited. With that, we're going to hand it off to our casters to get the series underway. Now,